Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making a really simple chicken shepherd's pie. I'm making a chicken stock from scratch here. I'm basically making this with a bunch of leftovers in my fridge. I decided to film it to show you how you can utilize like everyday things that you'll have in your fridge. Like here I had a few carrots. I don't normally have celery, so I skipped the celery on this. If you have celery, add your celery. So we're just making a stock right now. I'm browning everything and browning the chicken thighs. If you want to skip this part, you absolutely can to make it go by quicker. You can buy chicken stock and just kind of, roast some chicken on the side and add it later on. Or if you're going to do a seafood version of this, you want to substitute the protein for fish or shrimp, or you want to keep it vegetarian and do maybe like chickpeas and zucchini or something like that, then you can use the stock that accompanies that decision. So you can use a seafood stock, or you can use a veggie stock, or you could use water if you want to do that for your stuffing for your chicken shepherd's pie. I've gone the stock way. This is what it looks like when it's all finished. I'm only using 3 chicken thighs, and when that's all shredded up with everything else, it feeds about 4 people, 4 or 5 people. So I have tons of stock here, which is good because I'm going to use it in soups and cooking rice and doing other things. I'm going to only need a bit for the shepherd's pie today. So I'm doing my garlic mash. It's going to go on top of my stuffing. And I just put 6 medium-sized potatoes in a pan and a piece of garlic. I always boil my mashed potatoes with garlic in it because I love garlic mashed potatoes. And when I mash them, I just mash it all together. These onions that you see me cutting up now are just going to go into the stuffing. I'm going to saute them with my roux. I'm cutting about 2 small onions. And I'm going to add 2 cloves of garlic and some thyme. If you're going to keep this like vegetarian, I'd probably add a few more things, like maybe some peppers and kind of bulk it up a little bit. Or like, again, if you're going to add eggplant or zucchini, or you might want to prep that now. So now that I have my seasoning chopped up, I have my saucepan ready, and I'm going to start by making a roux. So a roux is literally equal parts butter and equal parts flour, or equal parts fat and equal parts flour. So you can use any type of fat. If you want to use coconut oil, if you want to use margarine, if you want to use just regular cooking oil, it's just equal parts that and flour to thicken your sauce. I decided to go with butter because I just had some. If not, I normally just use margarine and it's pretty much the same. After letting it cook for a couple of minutes, I'm going to turn around and add my seasonings that I prepared earlier. Now I just want the onions to soften, right? I don't want to get any like too much color on this roux because you don't want it tasting burnt. So I'm just going to soften it and kind of have my pan at this point at about a medium. Once the onions are where I like them, please don't do this and use a metal spoon in a metal pot. I don't know what I was thinking. I have this habit of sometimes just going for the closest thing available. Do not copy that. Go for a wooden spoon. So I'm going to start adding my stock to this, and you want to add cold stock to hot roux. Never add hot roux and hot stock. It's always cold stock or hot and hot roux, or cold roux and hot stock, but you never want to have both things at the same temperature, otherwise you're going to have a clumpy mess. So I'm going to let, like, as every time I add a little bit more liquid, I allow it to cook and reduce some more. I don't know why I didn't cover those potatoes. It would have boiled so much faster. I always watch my videos and critique everything. So I'm adding my mixed vegetables here to it now. I'm just adding like my favorite pack of, mixed vegetables, frozen corn, peas, and carrots. Again, if you wanted to like make this totally fresh and like cut all your own vegetables, be creative with this. I'm just kind of doing a very basic version of it. So from there, you can just be creative and kind of give it your own sauce, I added my chicken and I shredded the chicken into sort of like, I guess, smaller than bite-sized pieces. I didn't want to have it too chunky. And at the same time, I didn't want to have it like shredded really fine. And when I was done making it, I let it cool down a little bit and poured it into my baking tray. After that, I'm going to start working on my potatoes. So they're all done. I've mashed them up. I mashed up the garlic and everything in there. And I'm going to add some butter. Again, if this is vegan, then you can add another kind of fat. You can add vegan butter. You can add, again, coconut oil. Or if you just want to like leave it that way without adding any other kind of fat to it, and maybe just adding a little bit of non-dairy milk to kind of just soften the potatoes a little bit and add some type of a fat factor to it. For me, I'm just going to go with butter and adding regular butter and regular cow milk. And I'm also going to add an egg to it. And I know that sounds weird and strange, but adding an egg is going to help it get this really crunchy crust on top. And a really like brown crunchy crust. So when you put your spoon or your spatula into it, it's a really satisfying crunch on top, and without having too much of an effect on the taste of the potatoes. You really don't taste egg. Again, you can also skip this as well and just kind of broil it at the end of the baking to kind of get that brown color. So my oven's preheated right now at 375, and I'm just gonna smooth everything on top because my stuffing is a little cool. It's like set a little bit, so I'm able to spread this on pretty easily. And I'm just going to use my fork and create a little design. You don't have to do that, or you could create whatever design you want, or just leave it smooth. It doesn't change the taste at all. So do whatever you feel like is best for you. I'm adding all of the potatoes here. I'm not going to leave anything back because what's the sense of that? More potatoes, the better for me. And also some people at the end will add some cheese on top. I did not do that this time, but it's definitely a good idea. Once you get the crisp on top, adding a little bit of cheese, it's a good day. So now I'm going to go ahead and throw this in the oven. And I put that piece of foil down there so in case any of the stuffing bubbles over, it doesn't spill down into the bottom. So um, if you're making this and it's as full as mine is, just put something at the bottom. And that's what it looks like after about 35 minutes. It didn't have time to cool because everybody was hungry, so it didn't set so well, but this is what it looks like when it's done. And thank you for watching. I hope to see you again.